Did you fart?
No, I was this leaning back.
Sure. Whatever you say. Anywho, I was gonna say back to the ADLR podcast. Like we were on a different show. Hey, we're leaving from Brian's biscuit showcase, and now we're back to the ADLR podcast. I am Anthony, your host, of course. We got Brian waking up at
Mm,
7:57 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I want people to dox where I'm at. I'm kidding. Don't. Anywho, and Randall. Alrighty. Randall, you know you're on the podcast, right?
Oh, I didn't hear anything.
Hmm. You didn't hear anything. Are you watching something else at the same time?
No.
You sure?
Yes.
Okay. What I am sure of is that it's a new week with new reviews, new impressions, more shits and giggles. Hopefully more shits than giggles, because we be stanky. Anyway,
shits make me giggle though.
how hard?
Depends on the shit.
That's true. It depends on what. Well, because this fiery help. Is it stiffness or fiery that make you
What?
giggle? Like how? That makes you dropped logs before, right? Does those make you giggle, or is it like the liquefied plasma that comes out after eating ice cream or something?
Depends how it sounds, or depends on how someone tells me this shit.
Oh, I was talking about your personal experience with the poops.
Oh no, I never enjoy it.
Okay, well then disregard all of that. Anywho, this past weekend we headed to the. Speaking of lava, we went to the beach, and boy was it hot out. I mean, under the tent, Brian has no idea, but
I'm always cold, so I was enjoying myself.
you were cold.
I mean, always, and then that was like room. That's what room temperature should be like. And when I was under there,
You're wild because that's scorching hot melting lava. The cool thing about it is that we had what is it? The beach water was like super cool. It was like one of those like after like one of those like showers that you take after a really good workout, and you just keep it like not hot. You keep it like room temperature or cold, and then your body's like, oh, snap! Like it was heated up because of the workout, and then you come take a nice cold shower. That's what it felt like. Hot as hell, just
Folgers in
sitting
your
there.
cup.
Yeah, it's like Folgers in the cup. Go straight into the bath, cool off, and then came back, drank some more. What is it? Mike's. I mean, it's not sponsored, but the Mike's. What is it? Hard seltzer or whatever.
Makes hard lemonade. I don't even know.
They had different
Makes some.
flavors.
Michael's hard.
Well, everybody, yeah, they usually do. Michael Jordan, uh, Michael Jackson, uh, what other Michaels go hard?
Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan goes hard, right? You got any other Michaels, Randall? Yo, you there? Hello?
Tyson.
What?
Tyson.
Mike Tyson, you're right. He goes hard as hell. Oh,
Michael Myers.
Mike Myers? Isn't he
Mm-hmm.
the actor?
It's two Michaels right there.
Okay. Because I would say there's the actor and there's the serial killer.
Pick one, dude.
I think I'm going to go with the actor. I'm not trying to out myself as Michael Myers, so. Anyway, it was a fun time. What was I going to say? Oh, man, you didn't even tell him about the Dookie situation, that porta potty.
Yeah, one of the porta potties I immediately had to pee, and then I went into one that was already partially open. Then I looked inviting, and I get in there, and there's basically like an anaconda-sized shit in there. And
What
I was
the?
like, nope. The second I'm done peeing, I'm never coming in this one again. And then I went to the other one every time.
Oh, my God.
That shit's crazy. No pun intended.
Oh, it was intended.
Some light. It's a bar. I
Yeah.
watch battle rap.
So you not only did you say it wasn't intended, you agreed that it was intended after someone pushes you on it?
Some light.
All right. We do have a new nickname for Randall, and I would like him to explain how he got his new nickname. Randall, if you, by all means, do you remember? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Your trip to the jury duty. Is that ringing any bells?
No.
There's a big dude who called you something, and you were like, "What?" And then he directed you to where you needed to go.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
I
there we
don't
go.
want to tell people that story.
Why not? It's funny. Have you seen this podcast? We're here to make people laugh and enjoy themselves. Give them an hour and a half to 2 hours of escapism and making weird slurp noises.
It's me.
Mm.
Did you like it?
What?
You said after Brian did the slurp noise, so we asked if you liked it.
Nah, I didn't even hear him make the slap noise.
Are you listening to this with some AirPods across the room?
No.
'Cause I know you got some good ass headphones, so I'm trying to figure out how you're not hearing any of this.
I don't know.
Okay. Your defense right now on trial, Randall? Excellent. Immaculate. The jury's gonna vote in your favor.
Okay. So to make a long story short, the story is that I had jury duty, so I had to go be there at like 7:30 in the morning, and when you go through the security line, there was a cop. Well, it was cops everywhere, but there was a cop like in front of the where the line ended.
Mhm.
So I get to the end of the line where I'm waiting for my stuff to come through the security, and the cop says to me, do you know you're going Big Daddy? So after I felt uncomfortable, I said I have no idea. So he was like, "You see that painting on the wall to the right of it? Go make a right at the painting and go through the double doors and go into that room, and that's where you're supposed to go."
That's
I was
sick.
like, "Okay, thanks."
It would have been great if he pointed you to a photo, like the painting he mentioned. It was just him flexing, like in underwear. You see that painting over there, Big Daddy? And it's just the cop flexing in underwear.
Just imagine he just licked his lips aggressively after calling you that.
Yeah,
I
dude.
didn't look at him. I
Randall didn't
mean,
want to.
I was going to because out of respect until he said what he said, and I'm like, nah, I'm not making eye contact with this person.
If he said "Little Daddy," would you have been more comfortable?
Nothing, Daddy would have been fine.
That's a weird name, but I mean, I can call you Nothing Daddy from now on.
No, I mean like nothing with the words "daddy" in
Oh,
it.
got it.
He could have just been like, I don't know.
Big man,
That'd have been fine, I guess.
big boy.
No,
I think Big Boy is in the same family as Daddy.
He's called you Yum Yum.
That's even better. If he was, if he said, "Yo, Big Yum Yum," sick. That's all I
that was
wanted.
just weird.
That's a fantastic. That's a great way to start the day. To be honest with you, if that happened to me, I'm like, okay, today's not gonna be so bad. I could call Big Daddy by this quadruple, double decker man.
I don't think I've ever been called Big Daddy, so I would have blushed.
Yeah, same.
Jeez.
At least you called me.
At least you're calling me, dude. Yeah, I was gonna say I've been called boss, but that's been like a very common name people are calling dudes now. Like when you're at like a store or something, like, yeah, would you need anything, boss, or something like that? I'm like, I'm not your boss.
Called boss in multiple languages.
What'd that mean?
Been called boss. I've been called Jefe.
Oh, Hefe. Yeah, I have not heard Hefe. So I mean, you're a step above there. I've only heard
Been
boss.
called Chief. Been
Chief?
called. No, I'm not
Oh.
worthy.
Oh,
I'm called a lot of things. You should call me.
at least they call you though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Sheesh. Anyway, what was I gonna mention? I think that's like our IRL current events here. Rendell sent some guy to prison, and then
I didn't send anybody to prison. I got out of it.
I don't know if you want to say that. We can't go into detail. This is recorded, so we can't say that you got out of it? Allegedly, you just were not picked.
Yeah.
All right. I was gonna say we can keep it moving here. We did watch a few movies too over the weekend. What happened, Brian?
Just remembering the second one.
So How to Blow Up a Pipeline?
That was the first one.
Joyride was the first one.
That was the same day.
Was it not? Or am I tripping? Or maybe it was. Maybe it
Yeah,
was.
so it was. It was. Because then that's when you randomed it.
Yeah.
I forgot it was 3. I meant the last one then.
Oh, Violent Night. Yeah, we'll get to that. What was I gonna mention? Oh, we did. So yeah, Joy. Remember you saw Joyride, so I guess you can chime in here too, if you want, right? Uh, yeah, Joyride was a fun time. It was a. I don't know if this is a fair comparison. It's like a.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Thanks.
No problem. It was like a girls trip goes crazy kind of movie, like similar to like the Hangover movies when they went to Vegas and stuff. Except this is in
China.
China. Thank you. I'm like, was it Japan or China? Because they left Beijing to go somewhere else, right? To go find the mom somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I couldn't keep track of where they were going. Not that it's a bad thing. I just I think the only time they usually reference it is like when they get there, and it was like in big old bold letters, and then I don't think it's mentioned again. That's irrelevant. Comedy, and I think it did it pretty well. A lot of cool. There's crass comedy in it, and then there's some pretty funny dialogue in it. I think Deadeye, I think, was my favorite to watch because it was like a lot of physical comedy with her, because I think they mentioned her as they. If I'm not mistaken. Anyway, and that's it. I mean, it was just a fun comedy. I mean, they don't make these types of movies that much anymore because it's the age of the MCU movies and stuff. But it was cool to just watch a raunchy comedy. I don't even know if they are still making comedies like that. That's why it was refreshing to just see one again because I haven't seen one since what, Hangover 2 or something. Or was there another one that came out after?
When did that one movie with it's a bunch of little kids and it's supposed to be like crass humor? I didn't see it yet, but
I think Randall saw that one. When there
it's like 3 little kids.
3 kids, right? And they're like, oh my gosh, what is this? Gonna kill me.
Not report card.
Report card?
That's
No.
not. It's not Bad Boys either.
No. Let me. Raunchy comedy with 3 kids. That should come up. Let's see. Good Boys. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. One word off. That sucks.
What do you mean? What did you say before? What did you say
Bad
after?
Boys was my second guess.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that's I think the last one that I saw. That was like crass as well. But that came out after, right? 2019, yeah. So that's probably the last one I saw. I didn't see I think another one that I missed out on to watch was Blockers. Was supposed to be Cock Blockers when it was like the 3 girls and then their parents get involved. You guys seen it, right? With John Cena's in it. The dude
I heard
from
of it.
Mad TV. I forgot his name. And the late. I know the late. Again, I don't know the names, but when you see them, you're like, okay.
I'm gonna type in blockers and I'm gonna see if I can guess without seeing who it is.
Okay.
It literally made the poster this big and showed me the cast this big.
Isn't that what you?
Christ, man.
You Googled it, and Google's about data, not pictures. So
You're not as free bull. Did you Google it?
I Googled not the names. I mean, I saw what I needed to see, and then I moved on.
Gotcha.
But I mean, back to the Joyride stuff. It's a cool raunchy comedy. I don't really have much complaints because what it wanted to do, it did well. I think so. Like it was funny. There was definitely some raunchy stuff. The special tattoo in the special location was hilarious. What else? I think that's it. And there's some funny lines. And that one of the ladies reminds me of like an Asian Alex Bornstein, the artist
Lolo.
Lolo, I think it was. I don't know why. It might have been her mannerisms or something, but it just reminded me of Alex Bornstein. And that's all I got. I mean, if you're looking for raunchy comedy, I do recommend it. It's really funny.
Yeah, something to watch.
All right, I'm right there with you. I think Randall said you did like it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. How did you do with it? Because there was some raunchy ass parts. When you said you liked it, I'm like, what did you do in these parts?
I thought the whole thing was funny.
Okay, sick. And that's all on Joyride. Go check it out if there's nothing else on your backlog, I guess. Or just do random like I did afterwards. I shuffled my not watched movies list, I guess, and the first one that came up was How to Blow Up a Pipeline. And you're like, what the heck? And you'll be right to say that. It is I don't want to say low budget movie because it's just a very grounded take on a heist movie.
Indie movie.
Like indie movie, thank you. It's a heist, an environmental heist movie, if that makes sense. This group of individuals get together to blow up a pipeline that they're making on land in Texas somewhere to send a message on, to the government about piping through oil and stuff through land that's not really theirs. And what was the thing that he mentioned? Taking private company for public use or something like that?
Oh, yeah, private property for public use or something.
Something like that. And there's a group of people that stuff like that has been avoiding or not avoiding, like
trying to prevent it, or people like their lives were affected by
thank you.
said oil company doing said things.
Yeah. So then they get together to try and blow up this pipeline. And it was cool. It was just it's a heist scene that I haven't seen before because again, indie, it's a serious tone. It's not like a Soderbergh film like Ocean's 11 where everything's upbeat and you got Brad Pitt and George Clooney saying sexy things to each other, right? Like it's like real dialogue and like the things that are affected. Not that the Ocean's 11 was real dialogue. What I meant was like it feels
More
like there's
grounded.
more grounded and higher stakes. Like it's like we were watching people doing not nervous people, like people taking a chance on something huge, and there's like heavy stuff on the line. They have to make a bomb from scratch. There's only one person on their team that knows how to do that kind of stuff. Another person that can help them with said other task. It was really cool. It's definitely one of those I watched it once. I liked it. I don't think I'll ever watch it again.
Yeah.
So it's a really
Both movies up until that point are, I mean, out loud, I'm calling basically the plot points. It's not like you're getting anything new in terms of like how a movie would progress, but it's still entertaining to watch.
yeah. And again, I mentioned it before. I guess we started rolling, but there was a really slick joke edit at the end that I thought was really cool. But it's small. It's like a second long. But I'm like, okay, that's a cute little stylized edit there. Not cute. It was funny. Yeah. What's up?
Disclaimer for me calling I'm from the future as well, so keep that in mind. Maybe you guys wouldn't be able to call anything, but I've lived this movie already.
You lived this movie?
Me watching it, I've already seen it. In another timeline.
I see. Got it.
This guy's lost.
Yeah.
The show.
You're called Shepard? I think his last name was Shepard. Yeah, right? The dentist or doctor or whatever?
The main guy.
Well, all of them were main guys.
Locke was the bald guy.
Yeah, so it was.
Sawyer was a pretty boy.
Mm-hmm.
Saeed was the guy that the blonde lady.
Yeah.
Walt. I just remember the dad's name though.
I don't remember the dad's name about Walt. Speaking of which, I don't want to derail the How to Blow Up a Pipeline. You mentioned Lost. Got through the first season of Yellow Jackets, which is I think a Showtime show. Very similar premise. A group of teenage I don't know what sport they were playing. Female athletes, I forgot what, like from high school or I think it was high school.
Lacrosse?
It could have been lacrosse. I don't want to say the sport because I don't remember it. Take a flight and the plane crashes on the wilderness somewhere, right? And now they have to survive, so very Lost like. Uh, but the thing is, the show balances what they did on the island, and you know how Lost went back in time to see what they would like. They would flashback. This flashes forward to when they got out, so they're
They've
back.
done that before in Lost too.
Oh,
After a
that's
certain
true.
season, they started flashing forward.
Forward, you're right. Well, this one starts out with flashing forward, so you know who survived the thing. Which yes, right. I'll get to that's one of my biggest gripes. Is you kind of know who's still alive. So like watching the thing that pulls me apart from this, the thing that just like pulls me at the center is the stuff that's happening on the island, like in past tense, I guess, because if you're watching the future, that's now, like them grown up is now. So the past when they were there, that's the interesting shit. Because there's like energy in the forest, and then some lady looks like she's getting some sort of like weird possession, and like there's an episode when they take drugs and shit starts getting weird, and then there's like them trying to survive is it's more entertaining than the stuff that's happening in real life, like in the current time. So I would much rather. I wish they just made the show about them surviving there. Unfortunately, there's like a jumping between that time and back, and I just don't care about what's happening in the now, if that makes sense, in terms of the show's thing. But besides that, if you can get through the current time, like the current timeline. I don't know what I don't the present time.
Grown time.
Sure, the grown time. Then you might enjoy it. It's a little slower pace, but like the weirdness that happens in the island is just like, oh snap, what's gonna happen here? Or I want more answers, like in Lost, where it's like, what the heck's going on, right? Um, that's about it for Yellow Jackets and How to Blow Up a Pipeline. Brenda, have you checked out How to Blow Up a Pipeline or no?
Never heard of it.
All right. Well, I mean, it's available to you, and I'll leave it at that. That was a really cool indie flick.
It's the same as I didn't even know what it was until I saw the movie. I never heard of it. Never heard anything that rhymes with it.
Well, that's why I'm here. You know, I scour the internet for some recommendations from people who are watching, you know, on a daily basis, and I'm like, hey, this is good for this reason, bad reason, you know, and I'm like, oh, this sounds like something I'd like, and I watch it. And I saw a heist movie, and I'm like, why not? Or environmentalist too. I'm like, I never heard of that before, and it turned out to be pretty cool. So, but again, I saw it once, and I'm like, I don't think it's a buy it on Blu-ray thing. You know what I'm saying?
It's not a Bob movie.
It's not a Bob movie. All right, that's the Bob rating. That's the Bob level. Buy it on Blu-ray.
Is Blu-ray? Okay. Is Blu-ray one word?
It's a dash in the middle. I don't know if that's considered.
So would it be Bobber?
It depends. You tell me. If there's a dash in the middle of a word, is it still like Blu-ray? Would it still be B for the initial, or BR?
I don't know.
Because I've seen it as BR. As an initial for
maybe it's
Blu-ray.
Bobber. Not a Bobber movie?
Nah, I don't think so. That's just me. Acting and writing and stuff was cool, so.
There's just one guy. I mean, I don't even know if it's his fault, but his face just pisses me off.
That might be on purpose. I mean, look what he has to deal with on a daily basis. If he's over here making if he's doing that kind of stuff, you know.
I'm scared to Google it because I don't know. I don't want to get SWAT to come through my computer.
Yeah, don't. I would not. That's how you end up getting on the list. Anywho, and last but not least, we have Violent Night. Is it Nights or Night? It was just one. Violent Night, I think. I always forget his name. Is it David Harbour?
That sounds right.
David Harbour plays Santa Claus, the actual Santa Claus, which sick. Which at first I thought it was just him playing as somebody who works as Santa Claus on like at a mall or something. But he plays actually Santa Claus, Saint Nick, with a weird backstory. You'll see through like flashbacks. I'm like, what the heck? I don't know. That's his backstory. What was his web? Skull Crusher or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
That's so weird. Anywho, he's just Christmas Eve and he's, you know, so depressed that kids nowadays don't really enjoy don't subscribe to the magic that is Christmas and stuff. Everyone's just like, hey, I just want a new iPad or whatever. And the second they get it, they're like, oh, what's the next thing? And they don't really, love Christmas, right? So he goes to some family's house, right? Some rich, super rich family's house to go deliver something, and he gets caught up in some weird robbery that's happening to that family, and then he ends up, doing what he can to save the day, and it turns into, an action movie, sort of, and action comedy. There's some really cheesy lines that I know they did on purpose, just for the hell of it, which is really funny, especially when David Harbour says them. And that's all I got. What's his name? Leguizamo's first name?
John.
John Leguizamo's in it, playing the villain. Who else? Anybody of note? The guy from The Boys that you recognize right away.
Oh yeah.
What was we looked it up. What was the person he played in The Boys? Lucent?
Yeah, Translucent.
Translucent. Thank you. So season 1, I think it was.
And then the main antagonist will never back down. What was the idiot?
Oh, right. That's true. He was there, and it was just another cool like Joyride, cool like action comedy. Stuff that you don't really see.
Cool, but it's just like it's a silly fun time.
You think it was cool? There's some of the fight scenes they actually kept it one shot, and I thought it was really nice. As they were scrapping, it wasn't John Wick levels of choreography or anything, but it was just cool to watch. So some shots were like, oh, let's just do one here and see how it goes, and some of them look cool. Some of them looked whatever.
There's something to watch.
That's gonna be Brian's his mainline average line. It's something to watch. Where does that fall under bad, good, great?
Something to watch?
Yep. We need to do a conversion here between your scale and my scale here.
It's directly in the middle.
So it's good.
It's average.
So it's good.
Something to watch.
And that's it on that. That's all I think I got. I don't know why I'm talking like Forrest Gump, but just pretend there's a bench here.
To say about that.
Photoshop a bench, or Photoshop me on a bench with this mic just clamped to the side. And that's all I got to say about that. I don't think I checked out anything new in music. Did I?
Ever listen to like a new album every day while working out?
Uh-huh.
Just new in itself, me trying not to actually put on my fucking engineered headphones and listening to albums for the first time. Just kind of get through my backlog.
Oof.
I don't even remember everything that I heard.
Because it's on speedrun that mode, that's why. Oh shit, I forgot to ask you guys one. I saw a random TikTok video of Markiplier replying to one of his comments, or like somebody asked him I guess he was doing a Q&A. And someone asked him, I don't remember the exact quote. I think it was, if you found out you only had a day to live, would you tell anyone?
No.
And I was like, that's a pretty cool question. 'Cause I don't think I would either. You only got 24 hours. Would you tell anyone? And I think I'm gonna know on that.
I'm gonna know because I don't want someone to waste their 24 hours feeling guilty to make mine feel better.
Yeah. That's where I'm at. I can just coast through it and then, what is it? Sera.
C'est la vie.
C'est la vie. You don't sais quoi?
Well, entendu.
What are you picking, Randall? You telling somebody, or you just gonna ride it? I mean, go through it.
No.
What? No, what?
No, I'm not telling anyone.
Yeah, I think we got a podcast with like-minded people. We need to get some wrenches thrown in here. I'm kidding, Brian. And then you just chuck it at your camera. It'd be almost as funny as when the camera just dropped accidentally. Was it the camera that dropped?
My camera fell over, yeah.
That's what it was. I thought a hurricane took it.
It's on your Twitch.
What?
Said it's on your Twitch account.
Oh, the clip, yeah.
That's something you can. What you could do is go back and on those, and any of them that you think are funny, actually just download them and upload them to TikTok or something.
You know what? I might do that Sunday.
Sunday.
I think Jana's gonna go and do something with her car on Sunday, or Eman's gonna go help her with her car or something to change out brakes or something. So I can be productive and do something. That'd be a good idea. Is it still up there? I thought they removed the clips.
I watch them every now and then.
Oh, then yeah, I'll go through them and see if there's anything funny I can just add them to TikTok. That's some easy views for TikTok.
There's anything you want from my channel, I don't see myself doing anything like that. So if you see anything, take it.
Am I still a mod? Don't I have to be a mod to download?
You're probably a mod. I mean, checks vigorously.
Right. What was that?
That was me rewinding time.
I don't know how many clips you have, because most of the clips that I made from you is when you're playing Valorant, I think.
I don't know.
Unless there's something that someone else made, then I can go through
Look,
those. But
Let me just say this: any clip where I'm going off is probably you're the person that made it, because no one
Okay.
gives a shit about me going off.
oh, the only clip is when you're
People don't give a shit about when I do well. They're just there for the. You did that.
yeah. That's fair. Okay,
Oh,
then.
show all clips. You fucking dog dick.
Then I might do that then.
Oh,
I
I
can
was gonna
do
check if
some-
you're a mod.
I should be, unless I said
How
some
does
wild
one-
shit and you just took me off. Like,
I think after the 14th God's plan, I think I was done with you.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like after you're like, this guy can't be a mod.
Moderation.
Moderation.
Oh.
And that's how we get canceled right there.
Streaming tools? Nope. How does one check? Community. Roles manager. Yeah, you're mod.
Thanks. All right, then yeah, I can do that. Do a little work on Sunday morning.
If you want to upload the thing of me jamming too on your TikTok, because I don't see myself doing TikTok anytime soon.
Oh, you have it. I even made you the vertical clip. Just upload
Yeah,
it.
but then I shortened the time and then I made it not vertical anymore, and I kind of got frustrated.
What?
I trimmed the clip. I optimized the clip lengthwise, but in doing so in DaVinci, it's no longer a vertical clip.
Okay, then just send me the time code of what you want. How long do you want it? Anyway, we're live on a podcast. I don't know why we're talking about editing here.
We edit on these editors.
You edit on these editors?
Yeah, that's for the eat wait.
Yeah, I don't mind
Clean
editing.
version.
Yeah, that's something I don't mind is editing.
Yo,
It takes time, but it's pretty nice to get
the
it
worst
finished.
times imaginable. People keep trying to fucking call me.
Yeah, that's about right. I mean, just say you're busy. We can right now. On phone, you can reply with that text.
It's FaceTime, WhatsApp.
Yeah. Oh, I guess not. That's not a call. I know if someone's calling your phone directly, like I think iOS and Android have like a where you don't hang up, but you like instant reply a specific text, and then it's like, oh, busy, you call you right back or something. But it's usually how it goes. Hey, you have a set schedule, but then they either forget or like just don't bother to remember. Hey, you're normally busy at this time this week. It'd be like that. What was I gonna mention? What are we talking about? Editing. That's why. Yeah, I can look into that. And that's about it. Been playing TF2 a little bit recently. I reinstalled it, and then Johan and some of them are playing as well. So I played a little bit yesterday too. Man, Valve needs to get like some team together and make me a sequel, right? Like, what are we doing? Or at least maintain it. Like, give it an engine upgrade. Give it something, dude. Like it.
CS:GO and Dota got upgrades.
Yeah,
before.
CS:GO is about to get. Didn't CS:GO come out after TF2?
I believe so.
Because it was CS Source for a long time, and then CS:GO came out after Team Fortress 2. And now CS:GO is gonna have a sequel, and we still out here just crying in a bucket for TF4 Team Fortress 2.5 even. Just update the engine a bit, dude. Learn something.
What year did TF2 come out? 2009?
Fam, you can tell me.
Oh, 2007.
Yep,
Alright, never mind.
I believe you.
I was gonna say welcome to the hope train. Me wanting another Marvel, but you had to wait longer than I have.
Really? When did regular Marvel 3 come out?
2009.
Oh,
And
and
then
then
2011 is when Ultimate came out.
okay, that's what I was asking. I don't know if you were referencing Ultimate or just a bit. So 2 years after TF. Okay.
But that's the thing though, Marvel Infinite came out. So
Oh, that's right. We didn't get any Team Fortress coming out after. So let's hope maybe
yeah,
one day.
regular updates. So I don't know if you want to count the last time they did a content update.
That was recently, and it was I don't count community made ones because it's just gonna be stuff. It's nothing platform level. It's just more maps and more skins and stuff. And I'm like, thank you for that, but this game has more issues than not issues. This game is missing out on modern multiplayer. Like it has a party system, but it's still whatever. You get auto balance to a different team even though you're in the same party. Horrendous. Don't do that. Um, what else is in there?
Apparently, Jungle Inferno was the last major update.
And I think that was just more maps, and it added the contracts, which another gripe. You can only activate one at a time. That is not a thing nowadays. You can have there's how many challenges and stuff people like. Look at Battlefield and Call of Duty. All of them. You can knock out multiple challenges at once if you know how to play like the system. I would have to claim one and then work on one. It's
Okay,
just
so as of
like
today, Jungle Inferno apparently is the last like the official patch.
from Valve. Yeah,
So as of today, it's been 5 years, 9 months, 3 weeks, and 6 days.
sick.
So what was that? 2013 minus 5 years. So 27, 2018.
I guess so. Yep, about that time.
Okay, and then Marvel versus Capcom Infinite release date. I feel like it was like 2017. Wow, you got an extra year of content, Anthony. Boo hoo. I'm just kidding.
Right? Fucking Christ. I'm such a crybaby, dude.
You're a mark.
Yeah. That's unfortunate. And they're still doing like opening up boxes and stuff. Like at least upgrade to a battle pass of some sort to keep people playing. I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know if they
Mm-hmm.
are thinking about it. Because every time I'm like, oh, maybe they're thinking about TF2. Here's a whole ass fucking Nintendo Switch for PC. Okay, well, I guess you guys definitely weren't working on Team Fortress 2. You're working on a Steam Deck. And that made them a boatload of money. So I was like, Steam Deck or TF2? That's
Hey, but maybe this is the long game because now that you can play TF3 anywhere.
oh, I see. That's what they're gonna sell it on. Team Fortress 3 running on Steam Deck.
Well, here's what this is how they should do it. For
Oh.
maximum nut,
Uh huh.
orange box would do that, but as if that's a sequel. Like there's an orange box on screen and they open it up and every game on there gets a sequel. So we get a Half-Life 1, we get Portal 3, and then we get fucking
TF3.
TF3.
Yeah, Brian. I'm sure
That'd be crazy.
there's people who nut dreaming that.
What would you rather have? Like one announcement? Or
Yes, because
wait
we're
even longer and then everything?
no, at least one because we're at a point where not all the three things you just mentioned. There's no sign of life in either of them.
Just half a life.
Technically, yeah, there's half a life. That's all, folks. Thank you guys for watching. And then intense zoom in. Anyway, what was I gonna mention?
Half-Life 14.
Thank you. Half-Life 14 is coming this week on the Steam Deck 3 and the Asus ROG Ally 7.
Balls.
What? Oh, I also started, speaking of, I don't know why you said balls and it reminded me of Warhammer Bolt Gun. Not entirely sure. Maybe. I started playing Bolt Gun. It came out this year. It was on my backlog for the year, so I'm playing it. I think the genre is boomer shooter now. That's what they're calling
Yeah,
these.
what these young kids are saying.
Yeah, these young kids are calling the genre boomer shooters, where it's basically like a first-person shooter, and designed like it was a Quake game, like Quake or Doom game, the classic ones with like the sprites and stuff like that. Super fun so far. I do have one gripe on it, and I don't know if it's an options thing, but let's say I don't want to spoil it, but you unlock guns as you go through all the levels, right? So you start off with the regular bolt gun that you've seen all like the Warhammer Space Marines with, the little SMG looking thing, and then you unlock more, right? So let's say I got my fourth weapon, new weapon, right? And I hit 4 on the keyboard to get to that weapon, and I run out of ammo, and I hit the button, and there's auto swap, right? So like, oh, you're out of ammo, let me swap you to a different gun. I don't like that you can't, maybe an option to decide whether to go back to the first gun you ever got, the bolt gun, or the next in line that's stronger, right? The third gun, right? It always, no matter what, just goes to your bolt gun when you're out of ammo. And I do not like that. I don't know why it bothers me so much.
I think you know.
I don't. Do you know why I might not like it?
It's not optimal.
And I think that's probably why. It's like I have this gun, and I know the next. If it would just go one to the left, not all the way back to the beginning, and I have to do another button here to go to the next strongest gun I have. I don't know. That's my one
I think
gripe.
you know.
So far, it's been cool. Another gripe I have. It's like the enemy. I guess it's since it's designed like those classic games, like Doom and Doom Eternal spoiled me because like you know how they have specific enemies you have to fight, like strategically, maybe movement wise, like sidestep or dodge stuff. There's none of that in here. Like you can sprint around and you can dash a bit, but they're all bullet sponges. Like the bosses are
Dash
just
a bit.
you can dash a bit,
Okay.
but you can dash forward. And you can use that for some platforming stuff, which is pretty nice, like finding secrets and stuff. You can like dash jump and it'll propel you far enough so you can get to another platform and stuff. But in terms of like the enemy variety, it's like they attack differently, but you don't have to. I don't know. You're not doing anything different, but just pumping them full of ammo, right? Or like, I think like Doom and Doom Eternal, you have like something you have to melee first or something. Like there's some procedure to take out an enemy. Here it's just pump them full of lead, right? And I know that's a weird thing to complain about, but like now that the playing field's been escalated, right? If that's even a term, the playing field's been, yeah. Who cares? It's weird to not have that. Like again, it's fun stuff, but once you get to like a boss or something, it's just fill them up with a bunch. And some of the attacks they do, it's easy. Maybe because I'm playing on an easier difficulty, but it's just too easy. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So I might have to just bump the difficulty to see if it's more, but I'm afraid that's just gonna up some like damage values and stuff and not actually add any cool patterns or anything like that.
Probably. Either gonna make them tankier or make you take more damage.
And
And I
some of the
see.
yeah, and that's where my gripe is. Some of the even on easy, some of the stronger enemies are already tanky enough where I'm like, all right, I'm just pumping a bunch of ammo into you, even on strong guns. So it's like, well, but besides that, just going through the level and finding secrets and shooting stuff, it's still fun. It's gory, so like since you're one of those Space Marines, you know they have that chainsaw weapon.
Mm-hmm.
You can do that on enemies, so it's like it gets really gory and stuff in pixelation form. So, and it is fast paced. But I'm liking it so far. Once I finish it, I'll. Actually, I don't think I have to finish. I will self-finish it, see if something wows me by the end of it. But I recommend it for those who love the boomer shooter boomer shooter genre or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you like it, it checks those boxes for me.
Warhammer has they have like an XCOM style game that is on sale pretty frequently, and I'm always like, I'm gonna bite the bullet, and then I don't.
Did it review well?
I think. Let me see. It's
Go
like
to
Daedalus or something like that.
Go check OpenCritic.
The hell did you call me?
I said check OpenCritic. Shout out to OpenCritic, I guess. We're not
Did they have
sponsored
a
by them,
close
but
critic?
Yeah, cyberware46.com is their close critic.
This guy's a nut.
Do not go to that website. Anyone listening to this, I don't know what's on there. I just threw out a random domain. That's how you get hacked. Do not go to that domain.
Did I remove it from my wish list? Oh, it's not on sale right now. Chaos Gate, Demon Hunters.
I thought they gave that game away, like the base game. Because I have
When?
that.
No, you don't.
Hold on. Launching Steam. And then my OBS changes to like what I'm playing. We're live on Split Screen Losers. I could have sworn I have that, and I did not buy it. I think they were giving that away.
I can just check if you have it. Click on Steam.
Nice.
You don't have it.
Oh, sick.
Nut ass.
What are we talking about? Yeah, did you check to see what the open critic is for it?
It's not even popping up for me.
Jeez.
Browse games, PC.
There's no search bar at the top?
I typed it in. Nothing. This doesn't respect me in any way.
Hate to see it. When websites don't respect you?
Add it to the list.
As in, like, your wish list?
The things that don't respect me.
Oh. I thought you found it and you're like, it's high rating, so.
No, it's still on my wish list. So.
On your wish list?
Hammer. Yeah, it's been on my Steam wish list for a bit.
Okay.
40K.
Is it
Chaos Gate.
Okay.
Open critic. Okay, okay, fine. I found. I guess no one's reviewed it on this site.
No
I think I'm
way.
mad. The requested resource was not found.
Okay.
Okay, after 14 different clicks, I found it.
Okay.
There's two numbers. What does this mean?
What are the numbers? There's
80 and is an 80, and there's an 83%.
They're both 80, so it doesn't matter what number, bro. Like, I thought you were going to say one's 80 and the other one's 2. I'm like, then that's... then either the critics hate it or the It's like Rotten Tomatoes, where there's critics and there's just people rating.
I don't use Rotten Tomatoes.
Why'd you say like that?
What?
Rotten Tomatoes.
Memorable.
Okay. That means sounds like it's reviewed well, so you can keep it on your wish list.
Yeah, I'm doing another thing now because I have 134 games on my wish list.
Damn, you have like you have 3 times as many things.
Yeah.
You're sick with it.
So pretty much, if something's on there for a whole year on my wish list, and it's been like playable, and it's on my wish list for a year, I'm removing it because I could have had a chance to play it, and I chose not to.
Does it keep track of when you added it to the wish list?
Yes.
Oh, nice. I was about to say,
So
how do you?
on the bar in the bottom where the remove button is, next to it says added on,
Oh,
and
neat.
then the date. Like early access, I don't count. Like if it's 1.0.
Oh.
And it's been like a year. Clearly, I don't have any interest in playing.
Well, then how would you identify that? Because you might add a game to your wish list that's in early access, and then you don't know when it went 1.0, and then you don't know if it's been a year since that 1.0.
Because it won't say early access. And they switched the date for when it 1.0 is.
Oh, they switched the when it was added to your wish list when it changes to 1.0?
No, as in like, let me see. Let me look at Darkest Dungeon, for example. Like the release date of the game.
Oh.
It changes if it 1.0, I believe.
Okay.
Unless, I don't know if it ever went early access to Darkest Dungeon on Steam now, so now I'm curious. The second Darkest Dungeon, because it says May 8th, and I'm pretty sure that's when it came out. I don't know if the early access one.
You got some QA to do on that process.
Yeah, but I can always just Google when the game came out.
I mean, that's fine.
I see it's been a year. That's what I did the first run.
I'm only questioning with the information you gave me, right? And I'm like, that's not enough information. That's what my brain was doing when you were explaining that. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense to me.
A lot of things are up for beheading at the end of this month.
Beheading?
Mm-hmm.
And what is it? Anything good? Anything that...
I don't remember.
All right. How are you going to say a bunch of them are in the beheading and then not know a single one?
Because I went through this as like a trial already at the end of last month.
Okay.
I took off some.
Okay.
Freak.
Whatever. Uh, I don't know why you doing the lip sound you made. Reminded me of a TV show I watched that I'm going to recommend to peeps. Mrs. Davis. I finished watching. I think it's a mini series, so it's only one season, 8 or 10 episodes. It's about a nun named Sister Simone who is tasked by the algorithm named Mrs. Davis to find the Holy Grail and destroy it. And you're like, what? Precisely. It is a really fun, over the top. Like, do you remember Preacher Run? How crazy and
Yeah.
like comically it's comic. It's like cartoon characters.
Mm-hmm.
It's that again, but now with like a more focused um objective, I guess. It's only a season long. I highly recommend it. It was a fun time. Uh, it tackles uh the stuff of today, like AI algorithms. It tackles religion. Uh, it's a bunch. It handles a lot in a very tasteful way with some pretty good comedy and some crazy and outrageous characters that you're like, these can't be real people.
How long was the episode length?
Like 10, I think at most 10 episodes, but I think it's 8.
I mean, like duration of an episode.
Oh, I think they're hour longs. Let me double check for you. Using Tracked, not sponsored, but should be. If you guys need someone to sponsor, let me know. 8 episodes. You'll finish watching it all in 7 hours and 39 minutes. Is the whole runtime of the season. And that's information I got from Track.tv. Sponsorship. Just kidding. But if you need one. Anyway, what was I gonna mention? I think that's it. I don't want to spoil it too much about it because it's a crazy roller coaster ride, and it's pretty fun.
Anthony, I don't think unrelated, but you said something about some kind of algorithm, so it made me think of this. I think the Cyberpunk overhaul comes out the same day as the DLC.
Oh, then I must have misread the headline because I saw the last I heard of it was it comes out a few weeks before the overhaul comes out a few weeks before, and then the DLC drops. If maybe I misread it or maybe they changed the plan, but I could have sworn that was the case when I read that. That sucks because I wanted to see if I could finish a playthrough beforehand, and then
Same.
and then jump into the DLC with Idris Elba. Oh, Idris Elba dropped a remix to a track, and I heard that. That was pretty fun.
Is it a track we know, or
What's up?
is it a song we know?
Oh no, I don't know it. Yeah, I don't know if you know it because it's you're into the sturdy European scene, so it might have been, but it's a remix to a song, and he's in it. Idris Elba doing his thing. He's like, I'm not gonna be in movies for a little bit. Let me get this. Let me get my music bag real quick. I think the strike's still going, so.
Do you have a YouTube channel? Defected Records?
I don't know. I saw it on title, so yeah, I can tell you. Anthony's looking things up. New tracks. View all of them. We run the area. Idris Elba, General Levy, and Bungie Garland. There's a bunch of people in it.
It's a remix?
Never mind. It's not a remix. I thought it said remix. It's not. It's just called We Run the Area.
I'm gonna spit in your general direction.
And I'll soak it all up. That's what I do.
I see it on you.
I'm from Arrakis. Every time I hear that theme song from Dune movie, it always makes me laugh. The yelling, the ha.
I don't even remember the theme song.
Oh my goodness. Every time I hear it, it reminds me of how desolate that planet is, and I'm like, Godspeed to you guys. That would be me just yelling as I'm dehydrating.
There's not many like nowadays movies that I remember theme songs from anymore.
Well, because some of them you'll remember if you're on stuff like TikTok or watching YouTube Shorts, they reuse the sound over and over again to make memes with it or something,
Make memes.
or on Twitter and stuff. I'm sorry, on X or whatever the hell it's gonna be called. They started changing the domain now, so I can't like share Twitter like links to Discord anymore to do the VX stuff.
Yeah,
So
I tried it.
that's already pissing me off.
I'm already irked.
Yeah. What was I gonna mention? I think I said Mrs. Davis. Go watch that. That's cool. Uh, what were we talking about before Mrs. Davis came in? Because you did the. Oh, we were talking about Steam and backlogs again. What we normally revert to.
Next week,
What's next week?
Blasphemous 2.
Oh yeah, I ended up getting the one you told me on Green Man Gaming. It was cheaper by a few bucks, so I just grabbed it from there.
You're welcome for buying it
Sick.
early
I
so
mean,
you can get a better
appreciate it.
discount.
I appreciate it. It needs to balance out because I'm gonna take twice as long to finish it than you are. So, because there's definitely no difficulty setting on that game because the first one didn't have it.
How much game time do you have in the first one?
Probably twice as much as you did, with
Check
less
that out.
achievements.
I don't even know if I got that many achievements.
Okay,
Hold on.
but yeah, Blasphemous 2.
Searches.
Oh,
I have 24.3 hours.
sick.
Uh, uh, what's your name again?
What's my name again? What's your
I
name?
have you,
I don't want
I
to
have
get
you under
canceled.
T's.
Oh, because Tony the Shovel.
Yeah.
Sick. It sorts me by the nickname and not by my. Oh. I pretty much. Yeah, I pretty much. That's why I can't like
You
have.
beat it in a fraction of the time I did.
Oh, sick.
I had 24.7 hours. You beat it in 7 hours.
Oh, sick. But less achievements, I'm imagining.
Oh.
Where you probably explored, I did not.
I don't know which one's mine. Am I the yellow?
Okay.
Okay, so you got 17. I have 27.
Yeah. So that's you did more exploring than I did.
Most of my exploring is basically, wait, where am I? And then things happen.
Wait, where am I? As you look around, surrounded by bodies.
Mm-hmm.
Sick.
Kill everything. I'm hoping Starfield lets me eat bodies.
Yeah, I think it's September 1st, right?
3rd or 6th, one of those.
Oh, Randall, are you playing Starfield? Or are you gonna pass on it?
I'm playing on it.
Sick. You gonna push that 3090? You gonna push that?
For sure.
Don't worry about it. Just push that thing when it comes out. Oh,
Have there been any like companies teasing anything for TGS?
not yet, because Gamescom coming up, so there's more. Just teasing of. Jeff Keighley came out and said that the Gamescom opening night live is gonna be more about updates on games and announcing new stuff. So we'll see what's happening, but there's already a lot of stuff that's already like teased that they're gonna show at Gamescom and stuff. But so far, nothing that I'm like, okay, can't wait to see more on that.
So he just said what he does it at anyone does at any event.
Mm-hmm.
Updates on games and new stuff.
And some new stuff, and like, but not like you know how his Game Awards is like literally back to back new stuff.
Sure.
Like, yeah, that it's not. It's the opposite of that, where it's gonna be some new stuff and a lot of just updates, which is fine with me. There's some games I need update on, like State of Decay 3. That was for Microsoft.
When is Gamescom?
In like hold on, I have the event set on my Discord. August 22nd at 2 p.m. Eastern.
That's probably the next date for another MK reveal.
You think so?
Probably. I mean, they haven't said this is the whole launch roster. Which is funny considering they showed the whole season pass before the base roster.
That is weird.
This isn't the first time. And then they always do the pre-order character as they announce the game, but they don't show the roster.
That would be nice if they showed the whole thing then. Isn't it coming out soon?
Your birthday.
Then yeah, then Gamescom will probably be the spot to do it. Hey, here's the rest. Here's the rest of everyone. Unless they're gonna do like what you mentioned, where they they show off a new character every week or something until the game launches. Isn't that who you said did that before?
Not that they do like a stream called Combat Cast. They do breakdowns for characters, which
Oh,
they've already started doing that. They've been
okay.
doing them in bulk now. I think they do like 3 characters per stream now.
And that's not something they lead up to launch. It's just okay.
Usually
I
after.
could have sworn you told me that
But
some.
no, like they do these before launch. Yeah, they'll do these videos.
Oh no, but I mentioned what I'm talking about. I thought you mentioned there was some dev or someone that was on a previous game that already came out. They were doing weekly unveilings of for their roster right up until the launch day.
Oh, okay.
And I might have
But I
just
mean, NRS gets close to it. Maybe not weekly, but fairly often.
then maybe there's gonna be
But
a lot of characters.
this time they've been doing it in batches though. I think they do those like little character lore trailers, and then they've been revealing stuff that way, like a bunch of people or things like that.
Maybe to save time, I guess. They don't want to spend that much time streaming when they could be doing other stuff, I guess. I don't know. I'm not working for them. I don't know. Cool. Yeah, we're about to reach gaming euphoria in terms of I mean Baldur's Gate already kicked us off. And now Blasphemous next week, and then we're gonna have Starfield in like 2 weeks. Game announcements at Gamescom a week before Starfield. Like we're in it now.
In late September is the Cyberpunk DLC. October Spoderman, right?
Yeah, October's Spider-Man 2. I'm gonna sink my teeth into that.
That's all I can remember it being like the things I want to get.
That's it? You just wanted Starfield, then Blasphemous, Mortal Kombat, and
I'm not buying
Spider-Man?
Mortal Kombat.
Oh.
I'm only playing it if you buy it. If you told me right now on second thought you're not getting it, I'm like, I don't know.
No, I'm probably that's what I've been doing. I'm definitely gonna get it. I've been again, what is it? Shadow broker of the FGC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I really do need to launch JoJo because I actually wanted to play JoJo and I've yet to launch it or to even
I've
download
only
it.
done training mode and I enjoyed it.
Jotaro.
It's too many fighting games, not enough time.
Fam, just scratch fighting. There's too many games, not enough time.
It's too many, not enough.
It's too many and not enough. Dave the Diver though, we're out here on that. Great time investment. Enjoyed every
Darkest
second.
Dungeon. I don't know how I play a game where I age to relax.
Sometimes you need because you're used to time traveling. So sometimes you want to see what you would look like aged from this timeline, so you can be like, okay, I know what it's gonna be like. You're at ease with knowing the next steps instead of suspecting. What else are you looking forward to play, Randall? Besides Starfield and Spider-Man 2? Is that it? For the rest of the year?
Taking 8.
Oh, that's this year? Oh, okay. I was gonna say, what? You still think it's coming out this year?
I heard rumors.
Oh, I imagine Gamescom they announce it. No, that'd be a TGS thing.
I still don't think that's gonna be out before July of next year.
Damn,
Unfortunately.
that would be insane. How many characters do they have out already in terms of like character trailers?
I think like 19.
Oh snap! Randall? I don't know if you remember because it's already been a bunch of DLCs for Tekken 7. Do you remember the roster length for Tekken 7 when they launched? Like how many characters? Because it was a while and they've added a few characters. You looking that up, Brian?
Yeah.
Not that they're gonna stick to it, but I mean, they can probably give you a good impression of how many they might launch with.
36.
Wow. Okay, so nope, they still got a bunch of characters to make. If they're gonna release
the current state,
it's like 50.
51.
Okay, never mind. They still have a bunch to show
You
off.
know how much? You know how much KOF fucking launched with? I think 50 something.
15? It's launched with
50.
50K? No, KOF 15?
Yeah,
Launched with 50 characters? That's insane.
I want to say. Hold on. I gotta count because they don't just put the number in caps somewhere for me.
Yeah, I got speed.
3, 6.
We don't need
12.
Brian, please. He just starts counting for us. That's insane. Well, I guess when it
I
comes out,
lied.
it comes out.
39.
What?
No, wait. 3.
We cut to his screen. He's just playing Wordle.
39. Yeah, I can't read.
Well, you just need to count, not read.
Can't read. That's
All
the
right.
problem, Anthony. If I could read, I could count. That's simple.
Do you think so? Is that mutually exclusive? Like, is that a mutual skill? Do you need to be able to read to count?
I don't think so because you gotta read your hands. This is 1. Right?
Well, you can count without your hands. That's what I'm asking.
If you gotta know what number goes after what, you gotta know. I guess if you can know how to read, you can know that 2 is bigger than 1. I don't know.
That's my question. Like, is mathematics a form of like, is that reading?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
Just
I
think
don't know.
about it. Like, let's say if I put in an equation, right,
Y equals
on a
mx plus b.
calculator, and I calculate, and the answer's on the calculator, and I show you the calculator, you gotta be able to read that number.
No, that makes sense because I've heard people say mathematics is like a worldwide language. So technically, a language is something you would read. No, yeah, color me convinced. Yeah, you need to know how to read. That makes sense.
I would think so. Comment below. Let me know.
Yeah, comment below. Let us know what you think.
Are you fluent on your 7s?
Oh, okay. That sounded like tech from like some sort of fighting game or something. Here, you got your 7s down?
That'd be up, back if you're on player 1 side.
Oh, okay.
Numpad notation is a way that it started with anime fighters, but then now it's kind of picked up to be kind of the generic use. So instead of typing in quarter circle forward, you use keypad notation to say 2, 3, 6 because on the keypad it'd be 2, 3, 6.
Oh, that's pretty neat. Well, I would need a numpad for that to work for me, I guess. Because I got the 10 keyless here. Because I just didn't need it. I wasn't using it. I have numbers on the top.
I keep it for Pro Tools, and then I have a mute and deafen button on my numpad for Discord. That's about it.
Oh. You might want to look into the Stream Deck, then you can have a button on there and just free that up. But then again, you already have a bunch of stuff connected to USB on your computer, so maybe not. I wouldn't recommend it. You might be overloading the bus. Also, I don't know what I didn't know that Elgato set up the Wavelink to not require their mic. Or their XLR. So if you need an audio with virtual cables, their Wavelink is out, and I've been using that, and I highly recommend it. For those, just a PSA for everyone out there who needs a nice solution to routing different audios like game audio, voice chat, things like that. And you don't already have like a Go XLR or whatever Brian has for his Yamaha 7043 S5.
Antelope Audio is the name of the company. Pushes glasses, does a split.
On the chair?
With the chair splits too.
Oh, okay.
Choreographed.
Okay.
So it's next to me and we do a split.
How does it... Okay. How would the chair split?
Pretty well.
Oh. Silly me. That's insane. What else we got? I think that's it. Talk about Miss Davis, Yellow Jackets, movies we saw. I think that's it, man. For the rest of the year, I don't think I have anything else. Oh, I still need to go. I might just wait for a home release at this point because they're coming out so quickly. I still have to see Mission Impossible and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I didn't know Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles came out.
I don't know if there's anything else that I missed because I don't know what came out. I don't know what there is to miss.
Those are the two movies I think I was looking forward to, and I just completely forgot they were out and didn't go see them. So I'm just gonna wait for a home release.
I still need to see the Wes Anderson one because I wanted to see that for obvious reasons.
I don't blame you. It was a cool flick. It was funny. Asteroid City. Thank you. I saw it in your eyes. I forgot what it was, and I just looked into your eyes and I found that out.
What's the name of the movie where Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson are getting a divorce?
Wedding Story. Or Marriage Story. Oh my god. Now I'm questioning myself. I think it's Marriage Story. It's heavy stuff, but again, really good acting. And riding, it's Marriage Story. Came out
None of them
2019.
were nominated for it, right?
In 2019? Maybe. Oscar 2019 nominations. Can I actually see it? Winners and nominees. Let's see. Dun, 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 dun. Maybe I missed. I don't see it. Maybe maybe it was 2020.
Yeah.
Let me try
Oh
2020.
shit!
What's wrong?
Did you know that Theo Vaughn has an episode of his podcast with YG?
Yeah, it's a good episode.
Okay. But now I don't want to watch it because he told me that.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
I gotta watch it though.
What?
I gotta watch it though.
That was pretty funny.
No,
He's got one with Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair.
I'm not gonna watch one with Hulk Hogan. He's a racist.
Let me take a look. No, it wasn't nominated at all. No, I'm sorry, they were 2020 Oscars. Adam Driver was nominated for actor in a leading role. Same with Scarlett Johansson for actress in a leading role for A Marriage Story. Like I said, the acting's good, writing's good. I recommend you watch. We've had some great films over the past couple of years. 1917 was that same year too.
That sounds like it's a different year actually.
It was nominated for
Most
writing,
movie.
for writing as well. Oh, and Best Picture. I'm sorry, I didn't even notice it here.
Who got worst picture?
That's mine. There's a picture of me with just a towel on, and they were like worst picture. Mostly because nope, can't make that joke here. And that's about it for the Oscars. That's all I got. If you
For
guys
the
are,
Oscars?
yeah, for just about everything. I think we're good here. Short and sweet episode, unless you guys have anything else
I don't like Travis Scott's album.
at all.
I usually listen to things full through. Like I force myself to, but this time I got halfway through and I'm fatigued. I don't know what the hell's going on. I kind of just don't care to finish it.
Oh, what about Austin?
I haven't started it yet.
Well,
But here's what gets me is that I had to finish Travis Scott's album because the latter half has scissors in it and someone else.
that's it.
I can remember it. So I don't know what the hell's going on the entire album.
And you already heard K-pop, so like that's the other one that has more features in it. I think that you're
What the hell's
missing.
this? Travis Scott. That's who this is.
Yeah, Utopia is what you're looking for.
I got to track 10.
You only have like 4 more.
There's 9 more.
Yeah, I was close.
21 Savage is on here a couple times.
That's what you were.
The Weeknd and Sway Lee apparently. Dave Chappelle, I'm assuming he's a skit, or does he have something to say?
Just something to say. He's not out here rapping.
Like,
Then you know what? Maybe pause on Utopia and just listen to Austin.
why don't you pause on this?
Violence is not the answer.
Answer this.
Violence into more violence. That's wild. Also, only murders in the building started.
I
Episode
wanted to
3 is
watch
out.
that. I still have to see the first season.
Jeez, I don't think I don't know if the first season is available for you to watch.
I need to just dive into something because there's a lot of things I want to watch, and then when it's time to watch them, I kind of just
Battle
don't.
rap. Yeah.
Be honestly.
Then
That's
it,
not even
it,
a joke.
I know. That's why I said it. That's your problem. Then if you can't decide, hit shuffle. I
I'm gonna send you battle rap.
No, I'm good, thank you. I'm not
Why?
gonna watch it. I'm just not
What's
gonna watch
wrong
it.
with it? Why
There's
not?
nothing wrong with it. I have no interest in it.
Because you don't know what you don't have interest
I don't know
in.
what I don't know.
You don't know if you have disinterest or not. That's the problem.
I don't have interest in watching that.
Yeah, but remember that one time I was watching, and then they kept yelling twerk,
Yeah, I don't have interest
and
in.
you were invested though.
No, I'm just trying to figure out why this person is yelling out twerk like at a battle rap like.
You seemed pretty invested in what was going on.
And then I figured out it was just a guy's name, so I'm like, okay, cool. It
You
wasn't as
figured
cool.
out, or you were told?
Did I say figure out? My bad. They told me, or you told
Who's
me.
they? You
I don't
calling
know.
me
Are you what's your pronouns?
Sherm.
No, that's it. Just Sherm. Okay.
Yeah.
What was I gonna mention? Yeah, I don't have any interest in the battle rap stuff. So yeah, just hit shuffle, run. That's literally how you get stuff done. Hey, here's the task of stuff I need to do. Hit shuffle. Whatever lands on, do it. That's
I
it.
should tell a man who is addicted to gambling and video games to
Then
hit
this,
shuffle.
yeah, that should help you then.
No, I'm recovering.
From what? What did you gamble on?
Darkest Dungeon.
Oh, they have like dice rolls and stuff, like in Baldur's Gate.
Nope.
Okay.
You don't know what to believe.
I don't know what to believe. I'm pretty sure your Baldur's Gate's gonna do worse for you because there's actual dice rolling.
It has. I haven't had time to keep playing. I want to do a solo run as well. I have a run with a friend of mine. One run ended because, as I told you, it got deleted because all I did was follow a rat into someone else's home.
And that's Remy fucking led you down the wrong path.
Mm-hmm.
You thought he was gonna teach you how to make ratatouille. Boy, did you learn.
Yeah, I'm gonna call him Remy Malice.
Oh shit, I like that.
Yeah, honestly.
Speaking of which, shout out to Remy Malik out here eating Oppenheimer.
Out here eating.
Eating.
Just foods.
Foods, bro. Killed it. Oppenheimer. All right. What was I gonna mention? You mentioned something that I was gonna go into it, and I forgot what it was.
TGS. This second battle rap, I think.
No, I forgot what it was. Oh well, it went away. Oh, just shuffle, but like I don't know if it works for the TV shows though. Like it did when we did the movies, and I hit shuffle. I don't know if it works for the TV shows that way.
Just shows me random. It shows me the finale of a show
Yeah.
that's 14 seasons.
That's why I don't want you. I'll have to look it up before you do that for TV shows. For movies, it works, but that would be wild if on the shows, instead of just giving you the earliest not watched episode, they just like, oh, here's the last, not even the beginning of the last episode. It just cuts to like 5 minutes before the show ends.
Yeah, so it randoms the episode throughout the whole show, and then the timestamp. Imagine like I do that, and Barry shows up last episode. I'm like, oh.
That's it. This is it. That's the
Oh.
tag for the last episode too. It's just called "That's It."
I don't think it is.
Not the name of the episode, the description.
Oh,
It's just called "That's It." And I'm like, yeah, that's how it ends. That's it. So go watch Barry. What was I gonna mention? I already asked you the Markiplier question. That was the only. What is it? Not psychological. What is it? Philosophical question. What?
what?
I wonder if they have those.
What
Besides that.
philosophical questions?
Yeah, dude.
It's gonna be like if a branch had some ranch.
No.
What? Yeah, you're not woke enough to answer that.
I'm not. I can't spell philosophical. I'm freaking out. All right. Philosophical. We're done here. Questions. Well, I'll let Google fix it for me because I have no idea what I'm doing. I spelled it right the first try. I'm the best. That's
Pretty good,
insane.
man. Butt poop out the butt.
Oh,
Well,
these aren't like I don't know why I thought it was gonna be like would you rather questions, but philosophical. These are like legit wild question. Like one of the questions is when babies are born, are they good?
like taste.
I don't know. That's the question. I would imagine it's their morality.
I would hope it's the morality.
If you steal money but use it to save someone's life, does that justify the theft?
Sure.
I mean, personally justifies it. I mean, it's still you still broke the law.
It depends on how much money. Because like, let's say if I stole money and someone needed that, like for bills or something,
Uh-huh.
but guy over here's alive, then I basically just put another person's life in jeopardy.
Oh, that's right.
But if it's like someone whose like middle name is Dollar, and then I take like enough for someone's bills, and it doesn't make a dent,
Can you
then
give me a full name with someone's middle name Dollar?
Bernard Dollar, bathysphere.
And can I, just for the record, can you spell bathysphere for me, please?
Yeah. B. There's a silent 7.
Okay.
And then sphere, like a circle.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. What was I going to mention? Who knows? Um, the question. That's what it was. I think, like I mentioned, I think it's fine. It'll justify it personally. Like I can be okay with living with that.
If you're blind, do you really need to blink anymore? Like, do your eyes still get dry?
Yeah, that was an easy one. I think that's a scientific question. Like, wind is still going to hit your eyes whether you can see or not.
Or does it matter?
Yeah, because it's going to bother you.
You
You're still
still have
going to.
feeling in your eyes?
Yeah, that has nothing to do with sight. Sight has
I
nothing to do
don't
with
know.
feeling.
Maybe like your eyes go numb.
What? That's a separate issue, though.
I don't know. I've never been blind, man. I don't know what to tell
You're
you.
right. I mean, you're right. I have not been blind, so maybe I'm talking out of my ass. But
So what are you doing,
yeah, but
freak?
I would imagine that loss of sight is different than loss of feeling.
That's your problem, Anthony. You're imagining this is the real world,
That's true.
freak.
Oh my god. There's a funny section, like a fun section of the philosophical one. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Does grass feel pain when you step on it?
It's alive, right? I get emotional.
It sounds like you connected with the grass just now.
Honestly.
I
Can you
mean,
stab somebody with grass? Because it's called like a blade of grass? Or is grass just the blacksmith that made the blade?
I couldn't tell you, but all I know is the question I asked you here. Right? Does grass feel pain when you step on it? I think no.
I think so.
I think they study and they don't have to worry about anything
I think so.
because it's living
Yeah.
and it grows. I'm assuming Randall, you're in the same boat there.
Mm, yeah.
Sick. Oh my
It
god,
might be.
I've heard this over and over again. Is water wet?
People go like long tangents on this. I don't
Yeah.
give a shit.
Well, that's not whether you give a shit, Brian. The point is to answer the question. That's the
I
point
don't
of
know. Sure.
do it.
If you stimulate it,
I guess.
you treat water right, it's gonna get wet.
Probably.
There you go.
Like these are some weird questions. These are philosophical. That's what people who study philosophy do. Just sit here and think of these questions. Are hot
That's what,
dogs tacos?
that's what philosophy is. It's thoughts.
Okay. Can inanimate objects be either good or bad? No. They can be used for good or bad, but just a rock's not gonna isn't that good or bad. It's a rock.
That's a place.
What?
That's a place.
What is the place? A rock? Okay.
Do you hear it now?
So like, look at this. There's no way this is what people do all day. How do you know what words mean? Or how do we know what words mean?
It's because someone kept making the same sound and pointing at it.
I don't know. If your life expectancy, that's the word, suddenly increased to 500 years, would you live differently than you currently are? What about if your life expectancy decreased and you only had 5 more years to live? I don't think I'd live differently.
I think
I'd be
no to the
hyped.
first half, and then yes for the other half.
Nah, I just be hyped. I get 500 years of what I'm doing now. Bet.
Just
What?
saying that in that regard, I wouldn't change. But then if they're like, oh, in 30 seconds you're gonna die, I'm like,
Oh shit, yeah, then I gotta go like suplex somebody just to get over it. I'm gonna
mm-hmm.
die anyway. Um, wait, what? Are humans responsible in any way for caring for wild animals? No, right? Like they have their own survival instinct, right? Like they handle their own business. How are humans responsible for that? Am I right? Wrong? What do you guys think?
It depends on the animal, I guess. Like if it's something that's important to the ecosystem, then they're like endangered. I would think we're responsible if we want to live. You know, something like that type
Oh,
beat.
oh, like okay, I see what you mean. You mean to make sure they don't go extinct or something? Yeah, I can see that. I think you meant
Yeah,
like
because
just like a wolf out there. I'm not responsible for a random wolf that's eating well and doing what he's like. That's his world, right?
I mean,
Yeah.
in that regard, then you would say no. But I would think like as if that animal somehow fucks with our ecosystem enough to put us in jeopardy, like if they didn't exist anymore, I would think we're responsible.
Okay.
Also, like let's say if I just put up like a say if I put up like a volleyball net and a whole deer just drives through it and gets stuck, then I feel like I'm responsible because I
Yeah, you
put that
did.
volleyball net
Yeah, you
there.
fucking did that. So,
Yeah.
do we have to ask Randall, or are you gonna agree with yes, we are? Like, what are your thoughts there?
What was the question?
I need you to be here, Randall. Right? Like, what are you talking about? What's the question
No,
was?
I initially I listened to the question, but then y'all started talking, so then I forget the question.
Are humans responsible in any way for caring for wild animals? Not domesticated with like what, like outside deer.
Yes.
You know. Okay. Oh, this is a weird one. Following up the animal stuff. Is it wrong to visit a zoo, thereby financially supporting an establishment that isn't ideal for the animals?
Yes.
I can see that. Yeah, especially if you're like all about the human rights. Like, why are we doing this? Let's let them run free. I can see that. Yeah. So
I say yes, but I have a, a question of interest.
a
If we
question of
don't, so let's say like you're basically funding them to be uh, held captive.
uh
If you don't, if no one goes to a zoo, what happens to those animals? Do they like let them out in the wild, or
I
have they
don't
been?
know. I think they just keep them there, keep them fed and stuff until they can't afford to feed them because no one's going. I don't know what happens after that. Like when they can't afford to keep the zoo up, do they just release them to the wild? Do they?
I would think if they've been there long enough or they were born there, you can't release them to the wild. So I guess you have to sell them to another place.
Oof. It's a good
I
question
don't
though.
know though. I mean, there's some uh like oh wildlife sanctuaries I think where it's kind of like it's not a zoo. Like they take care of animals who can't go out in the open world. Open world. Yeah, they stay to linear games.
Uh huh.
Uh, but they're not like attractions like that. It's more like the animals that become there for like awareness or something. So maybe that's what happens. I don't know.
That's why that's a good question. I'll have to look it up. Ooh. All right.
She yawning when I'm yawning.
I think it was just a spread. Um, this one was pretty good. Not good, but what would you? Oh, okay. Here we go. This is a funny one. What would you say if you had 5 minutes to defend the human race in front of a group of aliens who are going to obliterate humanity?
Yeah, but watch this in the show. Stupid fucking video.
Oh shit, mine's really close to that. I would do the same thing, but I would put a compilation of like long lost family members or dogs seeing their family members, and it's like super sad and heartwarming. And
Mm-hmm.
hopefully they'll be like, oh, they're not so bad, and then they keep us alive. How would you defend us, Randall? How would you convince them?
I have no idea.
Brandon, when you say you have no idea, that means you're gonna go up to him with a Glock ready to fight. You're done. You're just ready to just fight for your survivability. You're not even try to talk it out.
I want to find out what they want.
They're going to obliterate humanity.
But there's got to be a reason. Are we a threat to them? Do they want our resources? Do they want our planet?
You got 5 minutes, so you better hope you can get those answers in 5 minutes. I mean, but that's a good tactic. Maybe you can be like, "Hey, man, we're not the bad guys," you know. Are there any physiological changes you would make to humans to make us a better species? Physiological? Am I saying that right? Physiological.
Yeah, you said it right.
And
Like
physiological
physical,
is,
like give us skills or something.
yeah,
That's what it's kind of asking.
I don't know, to make us a better. I mean, we're at the top of the food chain already. Like, what else will we need? Like, we can go almost anywhere. I mean, we can't go too deep into the water, but
Something to make us like
we can fly. We can go underwater for a long time with like submarines. Like,
something to do with like pressure, like making us more amphibious. Because I think if we understood more of like the deep dark depths of the planet, I think maybe we can.
not we. Y'all can go find out what's down there. Not me. I'm cool on that. Nope. I mean,
Maybe either
I
that
don't
or
mind.
like
I don't mind having gills and going finding Dory or whatever, but I don't have. But that's as far as I go. If so, one of the fishes go boop boop and it points downward, that's where Dory went. Nope. Bye, Dory.
I
I'm
think
not
if
going
we
down
could
there.
like at least to the point where we can like SpongeBob and them live underwater like that, I think we would care more about making sure clean water exists everywhere or something along those lines.
Probably.
It'd be like a wake up call, I guess.
Oh, this is yeah, I think a simple one. I
But
know Randall.
Randall didn't answer.
Yeah, Randall didn't weigh in here.
I didn't hear that one. I heard something about Dory.
What is he doing?
What are you doing? Are there any physiological changes you would make to humans to make humans a better species?
Mm, I'll try to find some way to boost brain protein and um, the immune system.
Oh, the immune system's a good pick. That's probably the top tier pick. Being
It's
able to
better than what I
survive a
said.
bunch of germs and stuff. Yeah, top tier. He looked it up. I'm just kidding.
Damn.
Should the legal age for alcohol consumption be different than it is? Yep, 18.
I thought it was 21.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's 21 now. It should be 18. That's just my 2 cents. Oh shit! This one's gonna make me not sleep tonight. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Are you currently dreaming, and how do you know?
I'm not because there's no thick Judge Judy.
Okay. Well, Brian found out. he's, he's not dreaming. I don't have an answer. I don't know if I'm dreaming right now. Like, I don't know if I'm in a coma and I just been living all these years.
Just a long dream.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I could be dreaming because there's a lot of gaps in what I remember in the day. So just like dreams, how I don't know, from the few dreams that I've had that I remember, it's usually not just like a long story. It's like random cuts. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe it is a dream. Who's to say this isn't just like we're already dead, but this is like the kill cam, like we're just rewatching our life,
Oh, that could be it.
or it's like when they say life is flashing before your eyes. What if one of us is in a crisis situation right now? This is what's playing.
That's what I'm saying. That's why that question is good, because we don't know if any of us are currently dreaming, and we think the other person's real. You guys seen
Just
that meme of
spin
the
a
lady
dreidel.
yelling that in the airport or the airplane? There's some video that went viral recently. There's some lady like yelling in the airport. It's like, that person is not real, and it's like, what? Like she was having I guess a mental, like a some sort of attack, like anxiety attack or something. I don't know what's happening, but people are losing it. There was something else that was pretty good here. Hold on. If one person doesn't find a joke funny, does it mean they have a lousy sense of humor, or is the joke flawed? I mean, that's if only one person, they might not have gotten it, or they just don't find that particular thing. I wouldn't say lousy. That's the thing. It's not a good sense of humor and a bad sense of humor. It's just you have senses of humor that's common with other people, right? I mean, I guess that's how I look at it. There's just lines people are okay to cross, and maybe they don't like that line cross, so they're like, I don't find that funny
I would
for
say
whatever
flawed
reason.
joke then.
Maybe.
If it doesn't hit 100% of the time, that means not optimal.
I don't know, because we've seen some funny ass stand up, and I'm sure there's stuff that doesn't hit to other people.
It's flawed.
Okay. Let's see what else. They have different categories here, so I guess I can. Challenging ethical questions to consider. Okay. Let's see what happens. Oh, we've had this discussion already. Is it wrong to kill one person if it might save the lives of hundreds of others? I think we made the Captain America reference here too.
Especially if it's might.
Yeah. We can move on though, because we have definitely talked about that. If using, I don't know what that is. Mm-hmm. Is eating. Oh, if your friend's significant other drinks too much alcohol and flirts with you, should you tell your friend about it and probably hurt them with the knowledge, or wait and see if it was a one-time thing and that won't ever happen again? Oh,
Tell.
yep, I'm a snitch on that department. I don't play with
Wait,
that.
did you say they were under the influence?
Yeah, if your friend's significant other drinks too much alcohol and flirts with you, should you tell your friend about it and probably hurt them with the knowledge, or wait and see if it was a one-time thing that won't ever happen again? I'm not. That ain't gonna be me. I'll let you right away. Snitch immediately
What would be the point of telling though?
to let them know that she should not be around that much drinks on her own time.
Oh,
Obviously can't handle it. She's out here flirting with other people. That's just me. Is I mean, this is like I guess if you're a vegan or not, but is eating animals unethical or not? I don't think it's unethical, but I mean, we have what is it? Vegan community. What's the other one? Vegan? There's another one.
Vegetarian.
Vegetarian. I keep thinking veterinarian. I'm like, that's a doctor.
Yeah, veterinarian still.
Yeah, it's vegetarian and vegan and stuff. Oh, and there's another one for just fish, right?
Pescatarian.
Yeah.
Pesca, and I forget the one syllable,
Aryan.
and an Aryan.
Okay.
That's
Is it Tarian?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it
That one.
depends. Yeah, it depends on the person. What I guess that's why it's disappointed these questions. Not for me, it's not because animals eat animals all the time, and what are we but animals? So
Do you know that cats think that we're just bigger, dumber cats?
get out of here. How did you
Apparently,
confirm that?
they asked them.
Okay, yeah, they asked them. I don't know if you guys have anything to weigh in on that animals eating animal stuff.
I mean, I agree. It's not
And what do you?
unethical, but it depends. It's more of a moral thing.
Yeah,
That makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense what I said.
I'm sorry. What was the question? I was stuck on the cats thinking we're bigger cats.
yeah, because that's outrageous. So I mean, I understand that you're stuck on that. Cause that, how would you prove that?
Apparently, the way that they behave towards uh like kittens, for instance, they treat us like that.
Okay. The question was, is eating animals unethical or not? And me and Brian just pretty much said it's depends on the person's morals, I guess. Because for myself, since I'm not a vegan or vegetarian or pescatarian, I eat whatever.
Mm.
So that's why I'm like, it depends on the person. Oof. This is a weird one. This is an interesting one. Is being a billionaire in a world where people are starving unethical, or do you feel that it is all right if they worked hard and earned their wealth?
Do you feel people what?
Is be if oh sorry, let me just start over. Sorry. Is being a billionaire in a world where people are starving unethical, or do you feel that it is all right if they worked hard and earned their wealth? That is a tricky one. Me personally, it doesn't make it unethical. It's just if you have the, I don't think it makes it unethical if you worked hard and earned the wealth. It just, again, you're gonna be viewed as the a hole who has that much cash and you never give back, right? Or help anyone. I don't think it's I don't think it's unethical to be a billionaire. It's just what you do with that money. I think is what makes it unethical.
I think it's unethical that billionaires can exist, but for a person to have that much, I mean, it's not. I don't blame them. I blame them being able to have it.
That's what.
That
Yeah,
makes sense.
it's like you have to blame the game, not the person
Hmm.
playing it.
But
That's me though.
okay, but wait. So I gotta ask, why, why though? Why is that unethical that they can become? Because all it is that it's supply and demand. So if you make something and everybody wants it, it's not really your fault if everybody buys it.
That's what we're saying.
That's
The
what I'm
problem
saying.
is the game. We're not. I can't say the player's unethical. I say the game is unethical. If we have a game rigged up where one person can get that much cash just for themselves, that's a little wild, right? While there's people that are starving and stuff. Like there's no system to share that wealth with the peeps who need it. Billion, Randall, not $1 million, $1 billion.
But I think that, I mean, from a moral standpoint, yes, the person who made that amount of money should look into um,
Giving back or something.
giving back
Yeah, that's what
or paying it for it.
I'm thinking. The same thing.
But ultimately, I think like it's the government's responsibility to make sure that people don't live below poverty.
I agree. That's what I'm saying. Like I don't think it's unethical to be a billionaire while they're starving peeps. It's just what makes it unethical. I think for me, is what's your actions afterwards, right? Because $1 billion, Randall, I don't think I'd be able to spend all of it. 1 billion? That's a lot. Oh, now we're gonna get super philosophical here. I don't know how much time we got here. You ready?
Hmm.
Do people have free will, or
Yes.
do you think it's all we're all just on a track that's been predetermined?
No, I think we have free will.
Okay. What about you, Ren? Oh, he said, "Fuck this stupid ass question. I'm gonna go get the answers in this book I got." He whips out. I don't know what book he would whip out. Like, what's the what is the book called with Pony Boy?
Outsiders.
The Outsiders. Thank you.
Uh, so it's basically like a destiny question.
Yeah. Do you think everything that we're doing has already been predetermined and we're just going along in a track, or we're here because of our choices?
I don't think it's like a track.
I'm right there with you. I say it all the time. You know, you're in the situation because of you. You can get out of the situation, and you yourself can get yourself out of the situation, whatever situation you're in. You always have the option to get out of whatever good or bad situation. Oh, this is cool. I guess this is the religion section or some shit. Is your soul reborn after you die? That's a wild one.
No.
You think it moves on? You think it's like the way other mythologies work, or like they go to a separate like a separate section somewhere?
No.
What? What do you think happens to the soul? It just like perishes?
Do you really want me to tell you what I think?
I mean, if it's what depends. Is this like a
Well, not what I think, what I read in the Bible. So, um, when human beings die, they just die. That's it.
okay? There's no
There's no
soul
afterlife.
transference. Okay.
But there is 144,000, which is I don't want to get into religion on your podcast, but like there's 144,000, which is Christ's bride class, which is that's the only number that actually goes to heaven.
Okay.
Those people are already chosen, though.
Oh, okay.
But there will be a new system, Paradise Earth, where people get resurrected. So
So
those
then,
who died already will be resurrected.
wouldn't that count as a soul reborn, or no?
I guess depending on how you look at it,
Yeah, depending on what you consider a soul.
because technically death is just a deep sleep. At least that's the way God looks at it.
I was about to say, because man, I'm not. From what these guys are saying, one of these people at the morgue are saying, there ain't nobody sleeping. There's no breathing happening. That's wild. That's yeah. These morality questions.
If you think that's wild, I'll tell you some stuff that'll really have you trip after the podcast. After
What?
you like,
Well,
I'm sorry.
no, I'm talking about wild. Sorry, the wild stuff is these questions that are
Oh, okay.
under the morality ones. Like, why
Mm.
does evil exist, fam? I don't have the brain power to. Why does it exist, fam? I have no idea.
Because of Satan.
Does chance exist?
Like luck.
I guess. I don't have to go to the different section. I don't have the soul for these. Is there absolute truth? What? In what? Like, that's too vague, right?
Yeah.
Oh, these are abstract now in this section. What is failure? What the heck? I'm never looking at philosophical questions again. Yeah, Brian nailed it. I don't. We. It's pretty much questioning our humanity here. There's another one that says, "Why do people value happiness, beauty, or joy?" Why do I value happiness? Because it makes me happy. What? Because it makes my time on this planet easier to get through. That's why I like happiness, right? They seem like simple answers, or am I just bugging? I don't know. Oh my god, they have an art section with philosophical questions. The first one, what makes something art? Randall, would you like to? I mean, this is your playing field now.
What makes something art?
That's what this question says. I found an art, music, and literature section.
Everything is art. Oh, I don't think there isn't anything that isn't art.
Yeah, I agree.
I was gonna say anything that can be viewed subjectively.
And then the second question, ready? Is some art better than other art?
To the viewer.
Yeah, that's subjective.
Gotcha. Oh, this one's interesting. Should artists be held responsible for the message of their art?
No.
I don't think so
I
either.
don't know if I think
Because
yeah.
well, the only reason I say no is because it could be up to interpretation. Like you can get a different message
But
from a
that's
song.
different. That's different. So interpretation and the message is different. So like interpretation is like how you perceive whatever it is the person is presenting, and which
Okay.
could be wrong or right.
Right.
But the message could be what my intentions on for this piece of artwork. Like my
Oh, I
message
see.
could be discrimination or
Oh, I
just
see.
no.
Like the purposeful method, like what they
Yeah.
set out to do. I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Then yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I say with that context, yeah, I think so.
I agree though.
Oh, okay. This one's a pretty cool one. Should art taken as spoils of war be returned to the country it originated in?
If it was stolen.
That's what yeah, I was waiting for that. I was gonna add that. I'm like, if it was taken without permission, send it back, fam. Like, especially if it was someone's, it could be like like it could be in someone's family history. Like, oh, this guy's grandfather made this or something.
From war?
Yeah. You know how
So if
they
I
remember that
warred with
movie?
Miami and I took something from Miami during the war and the war ends, I have to give it back.
Well, because you took it, yeah. If you just took something, you pretty much still. I mean, war's happening. You just took something. You still took something, right? Or no?
Yeah, that's still stealing.
That's what I think.
If I'm and somehow on one of the warring sides, that was you lost this because we engaged in war. If
Oh
a war's
shit!
happening and I just walk by, I'm like, oh shit, I have no business. I didn't sacrifice anything for this.
You think that's their winning? That's their loot. So you're here playing Diablo 4 is what you're saying. You're taking out people in the war, and you're like, I'll take
He's
this.
looking at them as spoils of war.
Yeah,
That's what it said.
that's what it says. Should are taken
Right.
as spoils of war. That's wild.
I don't know. I still view it as stealing.
Yeah, I'm not gonna take anything. Is it wrong for educators to assign reading that demonstrates racism? No, because there's still learnings of what not to like, why it's bad. Like you can learn how bad it racism is, and they can be like, oh, okay, this is bad and this is why. So why would that be wrong?
What
Yeah,
was the question again?
Is it wrong for educators to assign reading that demonstrates racism? I don't think so, right? Like you would need I would hope an educator would be teaching the kids like, hey,
Yeah,
this
I
is our
mean,
history.
if it's for educational purposes, like you said.
Like this was horrendous. We stopped doing this. We should not continue doing this. We should not bring it back up. And here's why. And then we have a lot of videos, textbook. Like we have history on why it's not good.
I don't think we should filter history.
Yeah, that's the next question is it necessary to preserve history? It sure is. Because what else are we gonna learn
As
from?
accurately as possible.
Yeah. Oh, this one's a not a hot topic, but this is something we've come up with or had to decide on our own personally. Ready?
Mm.
Is it morally acceptable to enjoy art made by someone who did horrible things?
Jeez.
I mean, I'm gonna be the first to say it. I still listen to
Say
all of
yes.
Michael Jackson stuff. I still listen to all the music, and I love the music. Oh, same with Kanye's music. I mean, he's doing some wild stuff now, but I still listen to his music. What are your guys' thoughts?
I personally try to separate the work from the person.
Same.
And if someone's argument is, well, you're supporting it by listening, pirate it.
Yeah, that's also valid as well. I mean, obtain it in other means, allegedly.
Yeah.
What are you thinking, Randall?
I'm thinking that's a really tough question to answer.
Okay. You want to pass?
'Cause, I mean, like
Oh,
all of the stuff that we either wear, listen to, watch, it's all been done. Something has all been done by somebody who's done something bad.
that's true. Potentially, it hasn't gotten caught doing it, which makes it even worse. But we can pass if you don't have a straight answer for it.
Yeah, I don't really have a straight answer.
Um, this is a this is a. I'm not gonna ask you guys this. I'm just gonna read it out loud just to see. Like some of these questions are good, and then some of these are like, are they? Is it really a question? Can cooking be a form of art? Yes,
Yeah.
right? Like what?
Yeah.
That's the question. Go watch Ratatouille and watch the menu and tell me it's not art.
Watch the bear.
Watch. Thank you.
Marcus's
Yeah,
arc.
Marcus and Ark and the Bear is just so. Come on, bro. That's not even a question. Um. What? Oh, hold on. I'm gonna read this out loud because it didn't make sense to me reading it not out loud. Is it possible that one person sees as yellow is what someone else sees as green, but
Yes.
they've both learned to call it yellow, so they will never know? Question mark. That's not a proper
Well,
sentence, right?
the beginning part of that question sounded like I was following you, but then the latter part just completely threw me
The
off.
the
Yeah,
second
same.
part is reinforcing the first part. So like it's basically saying like Anthony, when you see red, it's really blue for you. When I see red, it means green. But you calling it that, you wouldn't know that that's not the general accepted term for that color. That's basically what it's saying the last half.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. I see what he's saying now. Okay.
That
And
makes
yeah,
it.
I mean, because
Okay, I see what you mean.
there are colorblind people who do that. Like they can't see certain colors, but they label it as a certain color.
Because the rest of us are saying, okay, that makes sense. Okay. I mean, I just skimmed through and those were the questions for the time. So, I mean, I'm good to end on that one. The philosophical ones are definitely brain scratchers. I don't know. Do you guys like the would you rather questions? Or would you like the philosophical ones?
I'm down for whatever. That's the
All
thing
right.
about me.
I'm not asking if you're down for it. Which one do you prefer? Gun to your
I'm
head.
both the same.
Gun to your wrench.
Something to talk about.
You got to pick one.
Depends. I mean, some
Then,
of
yo, Brian, flip a coin, fam. If you can't make the decision, right? Like,
it's your podcast. You flip the coin.
I have a decision, right? That's why I'm asking you guys.
What's your decision?
I like the philosophical ones.
That's what I love, dude.
Okay. What about you, Randall?
Which do I prefer?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can agree. I guess philosophical is more interesting because the other stuff is just like, would you rather, and it's just, I don't know.
They're usually silly. Like, hey, would you rather fight a duck-sized horse or 100 horse-sized ducks or whatever?
That's three of us then for philosophical landslide.
Uh-huh. Anywho, that is it for this week's episode. We'll come back next week with some, maybe I've watched something new by then or played something else. And maybe some more philosophical questions. I'll try a different site because some of those questions were not like, is cooking art? Like, who needs to ask that question?
So I'm blind.
Yeah, I think one of the other ones is music art too, and I'm like, fam, like, you just trying to have a high question count. None of them are.
Is art art?
Yeah, like I was expecting that after a while. Like, is art art? Get out of
Is?
here, dude. Is question mark? All caps exclamation mark. Anyway, all right. Thank you guys for watching, listening, both subscribing, liking, sharing. all the above. Make sure to do all of that on your favorite podcast platform and on YouTube. And we'll see you guys next week. Bye.